What I think has helped me a lot is I'm always, and I was, when I was in the SEAL teams, I was always looking at other people. I was always looking at their leadership. I was looking at what they're doing. I was looking at why they weren't getting along. I was looking at what was wrong with the platoon. And as I would sit there and watch these people, I would learn from them. Because, and I'd say, I'd see two people that didn't get along. And I'd say, why can't these guys get along? What's wrong with them? And I'd watch them. And I'd see that, this one guy has a giant ego. Oh, and so is the other guy. And instead of one of them disarming the other guy's ego, they both can't figure that out. And so they're just battling. And it's, you got that inside of a SEAL platoon. It's a horrible thing. And so as I'd watch them, it allowed me that then I could see to myself where I would see, if I've got frustrated with someone, I'd say, or I'd have a negative thought about someone. I'd think, why do I have that negative thought about that person? That's actually a badass, or it seems like a really strong personality or a strong presence, right? Why do I have that? Oh, I have that because that's my ego. And it's the same thing with when I see people getting excited. I don't think excitement is usually a positive thing. I mean, it's not a negative thing, but sometimes people in a meeting, someone just immediately has an opinion, and I think. And I watched their opinion fall apart because they didn't listen long enough. They didn't assess things long enough. And so I hear them state their opinion, and they state it with vigor and with conviction. And then you listen to it, and all of a sudden they can't help but look bad because what they initially thought was wrong. And I probably had the same thoughts as I said it, but I kept my mouth shut and I listened. And so I'd see people do that. And I'd say, you know what, when you're in a meeting and there's people talking about things, you don't need to say anything. You don't need to appear stupid or whatever. Is it better to appear stupid than open your mouth and remove all doubt, right? Yeah. This is just, but I would learn these things about people, which I think were helpful to me just by watching and seeing people and being really kind of a jerk in my own mind. Like I watch people like a jerk. Like, why would you do that? What's wrong with you? Very accusatory tone in my own head. But then it was really easy for me to flip that back on myself all the time and say, well, wait a second, you do that too. Wait a second, you make that same mistake. So I think that from a psychological perspective, yeah. I think what's given me a good perspective of my own psychology is watching other people intently and closely with the goal of actually helping them correct that, of going up to the guy and say, hey man, this is your ego versus that guy's ego. And you're either one of you is gonna have to disarm the other one, or you guys are never going to get along and this is never going to move forward. And so I think that really helped me out a lot.
I'm sure it did.